Everyone, this is Clay with Cartoon 2D Animation. Hope everyone that watched my latest release on Stone Age, episode 13. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, it was sort of like a documentary. I did it for the learning category or the educational category and the animation at work contest. I needed a submission and I also needed a new episode for Stone Age. So I went ahead and made Stone Age part of that and turned it into sort of um, a documentary type thing. And you also may notice that I've used some of the old gags from latest episodes, only because I needed some ideas. I wanted to add a little bit of humor to it. Okay, first of all, you'll see right here, you'll see the background is actually a sketchy scene by Gary Pye. Uh, he he makes wonderful content. Uh, he's a great creator, and appreciate him sharing this with everyone. And and it's well worth uh, what you pay for it. It's well worth. Actually, through the whole video, every scene that you've seen is by Gary Pye. So, um, except for all the characters and all that, and the props that you see, they're me, they're mine. So, anyway, so yeah, that is by Gary Pye. Now the character right here, as you see, um, he's sort of a uh, Steve Irwin, crocodile hunter type character. Due to the fact I'm a big fan of his, I used to watch his shows and everything every week before he passed away. Uh, uh, so yeah, I'm a big fan of his. It's a sort of like in his honor. Um, so yeah, and what you can see, I took the mask off. All of the props that you see, like the snake is actually this part here is actually a rig prop and is animated, and the the other part of the snake is sort of like that, and that's a prop. Uh, and I got it right over him just like that. Now all these props, what I do is so it will move with the character. Just like when you used to go into the composer mode to create your character, you can add props to bones and stuff like that. You can do that, but now, with this, the way Cartoon Animator 5, you don't have to go into composer mode. You can just click on the prop that you have in the stage mode. Just click on it, and you just go to where says link and unlink, and you'll just want to click link, and then you're going to point it at the character that you're going to link it to, and just click on it, and it will link to it, just like the mask and this part of the snake. So all this, the snake and everything is pretty much linked to him. And he's it's animated. So he goes back under the water like that. So when I first started off, I made an animated GIF. I created the GIF and then just added the bubbles in there like that before he came up like that. Started talking and telling. And I made some props of Africa and Asia, like from when he's telling where you can find the snake in different parts of the world. I added those in there, and they pop up during the timeline, certain points of the timeline. So, okay, in this part here, this is actually the scene was actually made for the first part, and in this part here. Right now, I'm at the part to where they're returning back to the laboratory, coming back from the past in the Stone Age, and it landed. Now, the door is a prop, and so is the interior. Again, I use link linking it all together with to this the main structure of the time machine, and you can see I got my two characters in there. Okay, now the effect to where the machine is stretching out and wobbling back in, wobble, you know, sort of like deforming itself while it's going back in time. what I done was I select every part of it, and then I go here. I'll open up the FFD editor, I guess that's what you call it, and I'll just click different parts of it. But I made sure I had everything on the time machine, uh, selected. So I'll just use that during the timeline. Given that effect, it's being stretched out and just ordered why it, moves forward and backwards in time. So we'll put everything back the way it was. So now, again, I used Gary Pye's sketchy scene, and this is the evil lair. I thought it fit well for this project. Yeah. And as you can see, I got some props here. I put in my own props and stuff. So all my props and my characters are by me, and all of the scenes are by Gary Pye. Like I said, he is an excellent creator. Uh, all of his work is well worth what you pay for it in the marketplace, and I urge you to try them out. So that's how this scene right here was created. Okay, in this scene here, this is where, like you've seen it before in a earlier episode of Stone Age, this is where our little caveman guy, I really never gave him a name yet, but I'll think of a name. But this, if you remember back in the early episode where he's teaching his dinosaur how to fetch. So I redid this, and I, for just for this episode for the contest. So as you can see, it goes further back. You can see the stick moving in place. I put everything into place there in the timeline. And over here, you can see I got Professor Diego waiting his cue. So what I do is I sort of like do everything in one timeline, and I'll just move these around into certain parts to divide it up into different clips, video clips, and then I'll go back in my editor like HitFilm, and I'll put everything back together. Okay, so in there, once I move him into the position like this, play it back. Let me have a go at it, mate. So I sort of like animated him. And as you can see, I used this part here because I made him from a, well, I altered or I did some modifications on my one of my dog characters. So as you can see, I still have the UI for that. So, and I wanted to do it quick, so instead of starting from scratch to make a fresh character, I just kind of altered one of my other ones. Because that way it would kill time that I had to get this, this entry completed. So I did it this way. So, during the timeline, whenever I animated him reaching down for the stick, I would like find a part where I'm gonna start at, and then I'll set the key to all of it. So once you set the key, and then you just move them to a point where you're gonna have them bend, reach down or bend down to pick the stick up. So when you get to that point, you just go ahead and animate or move all your bones in position just like I did here. Okay, I did that. After I moved it over, I just moved everything into this position because Cartoon Animator 5 fills in the rest of the steps. And then you just go back, and what I do again, when I get to that part there, I'll set my keyframe again, then I'll move it back to it. I'll move it forward a little bit to where I want them to have them standing straight up, and then toss the stick. Well, at that part there. So once I get to that part there, I'll go ahead and click all the bones and put them back in the straight position like I had them before. Okay, and then I'll set the key again, and then I'll animate all of the bones to where he's throwing the stick. So we're to that point there. I'll put all of my bones into position just like this. Okay. But like I said, Cartoon Animator 5 will fill in the rest of the frames automatically. So you really don't have to spend all that time animating all the frames. And then I'll set it again. And I'll move to another part of the timeline, move forward a little bit to where I want it where he's actually throwing. So I get to that part, I'll move my bones in that position, set the keyframe again, and go back down. And I'll have that stick. Now the stick isn't rigged or anything like that, it's just a prop and I animated the prop. Like that. And that's how I made that part there. Okay, this part right here, as you can see, I made the background all green because in hit film, I'll overlap this over my map scene where he's flying across the map, and he's telling you the distance between Australia and the United States. So what I done was I made a scene with a circle, and the green part is a bunch of pieces that I put together, and then behind all of that I have a blue sky with clouds. And then I got my character right here. So he's pretty much, okay, mate, we have to fly to America to... I have to forgive my Australian accent. I don't know how to... I just do my best. I love Australia. I love their cultures and stuff that they have, and I also love their accent. So I'm not good at, impersonating. I'm not too good at it. I was going to use the replica studio, but my time is up. I need to buy more time for it, so I didn't get to use it this time in this video. So as you can see, I did it all in green. So whenever I go back and overlay this on the map scene, I'll use the chroma key plug-in that it has presets, stuff like that. It has in HitFilm Pro or HitFilm, the free one. So yeah, that's how I made that part there. Okay, and this is last but not least the part where I made the map and he's traveling from Australia to America or the United States. And if you pay attention right here over Australia, when I move the timeline, you'll see a plane and a red line pop up. Now the plane is just a non-rigged prop, which I just animated during the timeline. So I'll just have the prop. What I done was I placed the plane right here, and right at the beginning of the timeline, or past the beginning of the timeline, I put the plane invisible. So when I move to the part where I want the plane to appear, I'll back it up once, I'll click invisible to make it visible. Then I'll go back and click visible again to turn off visible to make it invisible. And then I'll go forward one more frame, and then I'll click on visible to make it visible again. doing that sets the first key for the plane appearing from nowhere, like he just took off from flight. I meant from taking off into flight. So as I moved the plane, I added another prop with just a regular red line. And in Cartoon Animator 5, you can just stretch those lines as you go. So as you go, you'll stretch it, keep it in line with the plane. As you can see, I stretched it all the way during the timeline. As the plane moves, I'll stretch it, having it following the plane until it gets to North America. And then I'll use the invisible trick again using the keyframes here. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this little video on how I did it. I'm sorry I didn't spend too much time with it. Don't want to spend too much time making this part here. I just made it quick because, I do have to go to work today and all that. So I just want to hurry up and get this done and upload the video and then post it into Reallusion for the contest. So I hope this helps you come up with ideas of what you can do in your documentary videos if you ever decide to make one. This is my actual first attempt to making a little documentary. I've never done it before. I've never done any kind of learning video before except for tutorials on how I do things. Well, I guess it's pretty much the same thing. Alright, anyway, like I said, this is it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and y'all have a blessed day. Oh, and good luck to all the other people out there that's entering the contest. Yeah, good luck.